Well, hello and welcome to the port of Zeebrugge. Yes, we have arrived in Belgium one day earlier than expected. Now, this is due to bad weather that's predicted later on in the cruise, so we'll let you know how that goes. But for now, we're off to explore Belgium today.
Hi, if you're new to our channel, we are Tom and Dom Travel, and we release a new cruise and travel related video every single week. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a like.
Well, after a little bit of a late night last night, we unfortunately missed breakfast this morning. Yes, we didn't get up in time.
We were feeling really delicate this morning. We got up around about 9:30. It didn't help the fact that the clocks went forward an hour because we are in Belgium. So we freshened ourselves up and made our way down to the chart room to grab ourselves a coffee.
Yes, we ordered ourselves 2 lattes, and to be fair, the chart room was very busy, but the lattes arrived very quickly.
You can get a number of pastries first thing in the morning, but neither of us fancied anything to eat.
Not yet anyway. Now, the area around the chart room and the lobby was very busy because this is the area where passengers were disembarking for their day's excursions in Belgium, but it was quite cold because the doors were open, so even sitting in the chart room there was definitely a cool breeze blowing through the ship.
After our coffee, we just quickly headed back to the room to grab our coats, hats and bags, and then we made our way down to deck 2 to disembark the ship. It was very cold. As soon as we left the ship, the cold air hit us. It was freezing. Fortunately, there was a shuttle bus waiting to take us from the ship to the port. Now, the port of Zeebrugge is a working port, so you're not able just to have a wander around yourself. You do need to get on the shuttle bus, which will take you to the port, and from there you can go and explore on your own.
Now, one thing to note is it's important that you get on the correct bus. There are 2 different free buses waiting for passengers as you leave the ship. One is a free bus to Blankenberg because Cunard do provide a free bus to the nearest town, which here in Zeebrugge is Blankenberg, and the other one is just to the port exit. Now, we jumped on the bus to the port exit because we booked the cruise express from the port entrance to Bruges itself.
However, a number of passengers did get on the port shuttle bus and realised that they were in the wrong destination because they wanted to go to Blankenberg.
Yeah.
So to jump back on the shuttle bus to the ship and then get on the other Blankenberg shuttle. Something to be mindful of.
Now, if you have booked a cruise excursion, also outside the ship is where you jump on the cruise excursions. They leave directly from outside of the ship.
We've used the Cruise Express service before and we found it really convenient. It drops you in the centre of Bruges. It's only around about a 20-minute coach drive. It costs €25 return per person, and it's just the easiest way to do it. I'll pop a link in the description so you can have a look for yourself if you are visiting Bruges.
Now, we have also tested out the route by train, and out of the 2 we think the Cruise Express is definitely the easiest and the most value for money.
We didn't have to wait long for a shuttle because with Cruise Express it tends to be every half hour, and that's getting to Bruges and coming back, so there's always a bus waiting. You never have to wait too long before you head into where you need to go.
Now, you can purchase the tickets in advance, and we'd recommend that you do that just to make sure you secure your spot, but if you haven't done that, then you can purchase them on the day from the desk directly opposite the cruise terminal exit.
After we'd shown the Cruise Express guys our pre-purchase ticket, we had to wait around about 10 minutes, and then they took us up to the bus stop where we got on the bus, and before we knew it, we were on our way.
Yep, the bus journey did take around 25 minutes, a little bit longer than normal because there was a bit of traffic on the way, but as it did before, it dropped us directly in a car park that's easy to find just on the outskirts of Bruges city centre.
Takes around about 15 minutes to walk into the old medieval town of Bruges, and again it's a nice little walk. However, it was grey, it was raining, and it was still very cold.
Yes, now the top tip here is when you leave the Cruise Express, look for the red bridge. If you cross that red bridge and then turn left, you will head straight into the centre of Bruges. Now, as it is just after Christmas, Bruges is still set up for that Christmas festive period, and an ice skating rink was the first thing that we spotted because it was over the lake that definitely wasn't there before.
A floating ice rink. I've never seen anything like it before. There were lots of people ice skating. Equally, they had a number of tables with heaters and a few bars and food outlets. It was a great atmosphere.
This area is also the first place, no matter what time of year, to access a toilet. So if you want to find a toilet, this is your first opportunity, and do be aware that there is a cost of €1 per person.
We had a little wander around the ice rink and just took in some of the atmosphere, and then we continued to head into the centre of Bruges. We followed the cobbled streets because it is a beautiful part of the world, full of history, and the buildings are just beautiful.
Now, Bruges is famous for its swans, and it wasn't long before we got to spot our first few. Also, right in this area, just outside where we spotted the swans, we did see our first horse and carriage. Now, horse and carriages are popular here in Bruges, and they are a good way to see the city if that is something you like to do.
We continued to walk into the centre of Bruges, over a few bridges. There are lots of canal tours. We have previously done one, and it was fantastic. And we highly recommend that if it's your first time in Bruges, that you pop on one of these canal tours.
Then we spotted what was our first of 2 Christmas markets here in Bruges. We had a nice little wander around. There were some very interesting stalls. Particularly interesting to us were the food stalls, and there was plenty of opportunity to have little tasters as well.
We are in Bruges on a Sunday, and wow, was it busy. There were a few shops shut, but the vast majority of them were open. We were a little bit apprehensive, thinking, oh, everything's going to be closed, but we popped into Rituals. Zara was open, and pretty much no problems at all visiting Bruges on a Sunday. The Christmas market itself was the main attraction because wow, was it busy.
Now, there are attractions that we have seen on our previous visits to Bruges, including that vial of Christ's blood. Now, we didn't choose to do that this time, but if you do want to see what we got up to last time on a normal visit to Bruges, do check out our previous Bruges vlog. Now, this time we did head to our second of the Christmas markets. This one was a little bit bigger, and it was located in the main square.
It's directly opposite the town hall and the old tilted tower. The main square again was really busy. They had lots of little stalls selling Christmas-inspired products. We couldn't believe the amount of nougat that was available in various different flavours. It was incredible to see.
At this point, we did take the opportunity to try one of their glühweins, mulled wine. So we had one of those each, and it was fantastic. We had one a couple of weeks ago in the Birmingham Christmas market back in the UK, and this one probably was a little bit better.
They cost €4.50 each, and we did have to put a €250 deposit down because they do come in Bruges Christmas market branding, so they do like them back.
And when you do take it back, you get your deposit of €250 given back to you. So we took ours back, but you can keep them as a souvenir if you want to. We continued to explore some of Bruges, had a little look further around that square, and then found ourselves in the Historium, which is one of Bruges' great attractions located in that main square. We had a wander around there and then headed up just above there where you find a bar that overlooks the square. It was at this point we decided to do some beer tasting.
When in Bruges, and it's something we've never done before. We've visited Bruges a number of times, but we've never done a beer tasting experience.
So our top tip if you are visiting Bruges, if you want some great views of the square that not everyone else gets to see, head up to the Delvalorium, which is up above the Historium in Bruges Square. It's free to enter, and all you need to do is buy yourself a drink. Now, we chose to go for the beer flight, so that's 3 different beers to taste, and the cost is €16.50.
We got great views over the square and the Christmas market. It was a little bit chilly, but it was just a great overall experience. Now, when it came to the beer tasting, however, I don't think we'd be doing it again.
No, we're not beer drinkers normally, but we did it because we're here in Bruges and they weren't our favourite really. We'd rather a gin and tonic.
Most definitely.
But we can say we've done it now, so we've tried some Belgian beers, so there we go.
Also located in the Historium is a museum with a VR experience that goes through the medieval history of Bruges. There's the Tourist Information Centre if you want to find out anything, and many of the walk-in tours for Bruges start here as well.
Also, Also available here is a Segway tour, so you can book a Segway tour that starts from this area.
After trying some Bruges beer, which we'll never do again, we then decided to make our way back to the ship. As we were walking through the streets of Bruges, we did see a couple of postcards. We picked up our Patreon postcards.
Yes, as one of the benefits for being a patron, each of our trips you do get a postcard sent to you. So if you'd like to become a patron and receive one of our exclusive postcards from our trip, they are all handwritten, then sign up on our Patreon. The link is in the description.
We had a nice leisurely walk back to the bus pickup through Bruges. We knew that there'd be a bus every half an hour. 15-20 minutes later, we were back at the bus stop, and lo and behold, a bus was there waiting to leave. We managed to squeeze on, and then off we went back to the ship. We were very, very lucky because a number of other tours and excursions all pulled up at the ship at the same time, and me and Tom thought, wow, we're going to be stuck in a massive queue. But we managed to get through security really quick, and we were the last ones on one of the shuttle buses from the port. And because we were stood up, we got off the shuttle straight away, and we were the first people on the ship, which we thought was fantastic.
By this time it was just after 3 o'clock and we had missed the start of afternoon tea. Now unusually afternoon tea is being held in the Britannia restaurant rather than the Queen's room on board. We're not sure why this is, but if you know why, please do let us know, because we aren't sure and we've yet to find out. But instead we decided to head up to the buffet. Now as we were heading up to the buffet, we did for some reason spot some people with some chips and a burger, and that changed our mind. So we went searching for the grill. Now the grill is often closed in bad weather, which it is today. The weather is not great here in Bruges, but we thought we'd try it, and fortunately for us, we were the only ones there waiting for a burger.
Unfortunately, we had arrived on the ship between this 3 and 4 p.m. changeover time, where the buffet only served a few afternoon tea items. The pub had finished serving food at 2:30, so we just missed that as well. We were just so happy that there was somewhere we could go to get something to eat, but we really didn't think it'd be open because it was so cold outside.
So we both ordered ourselves a cheeseburger each, along with some fries and onion rings, and Dom ordered then an extra hot dog.
I had the LA hot dog, which had streaky bacon on it. Who knew? I didn't.
And then you had ketchup on it and more onion rings.
Yeah, he went OTT on onion rings for some reason. We did have a lot of onion rings. We didn't ask for that many.
Overall, we really enjoyed the burger. Yes, we think Queen Anne's burgers are better than the ones here on Victoria, but it definitely wasn't bad.
We didn't sit outside to eat it. We did come into the buffet because it was just far too cold.
Now, on this cruise, I don't think many people have been outside, so the grill has not been spotted by many of the passengers. So it is a little bit of a hidden gem on this cruise. In sunnier weather, I'm sure everybody knows where the grill is because people are sat outside, but on today, luckily we're the only ones there.
After having our burgers and my hot dog, we decided to head over to the Commodore Club for a drink. Fortunately, when we got there, we managed to get a seat right at the front. Again, it's a beautiful venue. Got to be one of our favourites. Just nice, relaxed atmosphere.
This is where I took the opportunity to order a hot chocolate. It did come with some marshmallows and chocolate flakes, but they were already in the cup, not as they have done previously where they have been separate and I've had to pop them in myself.
So that was a little bit disappointing because it is quite fun to have this hot chocolate with all the different marshmallows and chocolate shavings that you can add and mix and do your own thing with, and we weren't really expecting it to come pre-made.
We'll perhaps try it in the chart room or somewhere else on the ship to see if it comes separate there.
I had a lovely glass of red wine, and it was just nice to sit up there and just while away an hour or so.
After we'd sat there relaxing for a while, we decided to head back to our cabin because we needed to get ourselves ready because tonight was the black and white gala.
When we arrived in the cabin, we had a letter waiting for us outside. Once we opened it, we realised it was the theatre box reservation that we booked on the previous day.
So we have booked theatre box number 1 for tonight's performance of Roy Hemmings, who is from the Drifters. So we're looking forward to doing that.
We do have to bring our tickets with us, and we have to be there 30 minutes before the show starts.
Yes, so we have booked the later show, so that puts us to be at the theatre around 9:30.
So we got dressed in our finery and then made our way down to dinner. Now, last night when we were leaving the Britannia restaurant, the queues were huge. So tonight we thought we'd get to the Britannia restaurant a little bit earlier because it is formal night. Lots of people like to eat in the main dining room on a formal night, and we were expecting it to be very busy. No problems at all. There were plenty of tables. We went to the maitre d'. He escorted us to a lovely table by the window. We were very, very lucky tonight.
Super pleased for gala night, and when we had a look around at all the other passengers, yes, majority of men were in a tuxedo or a dinner jacket, and majority of the ladies were dressed up very glamorous.
Our waiter gave us a glass of Prosecco and told us that it was compliments of the captain, which was very nice.
A nice treat on formal night for us.
The sommelier also came over and asked for our drinks order. We both went for a nice glass of red.
And then we also had a glass of water as well, so it wasn't all alcohol.
Just in case. Our waiter offered us some bread and then proceeded to take our order. On the menu there was a nice selection. However, I've got to say, on other cruise lines for formal nights, the menus have been, I suppose, a little bit more impressive than this evening's here on Queen Victoria.
It is also interesting to note that some dishes now come at additional charge, so bear that in mind. So to start, me and Dom both ordered exactly the same. We went for the baked potato soup, and it was super tasty. One of the best soups we've had on Cunard. Now, we have quite often had a consommé on a formal night, but tonight we had the baked potato soup and we both enjoyed.
Really good. I'm not a big soup lover, but it was very tasty, full of flavour. It had a lovely bit of fromage frais and chives in the middle, and it just melted in. It was delicious.
Then for our second course, I went for Caesar salad once again, as I had the previous night, and found it exactly the same but just as good.
And I went for the prosciutto and melon, presented beautifully, very nice. The melon was minted, which was a little bit unusual as I've never had that before, but I did eat a lot.
Then for the main course, I went for the venison. Now, it's not very often I have ever chosen venison. It might be the second or third time ever I've eaten it, and it was cooked beautifully. I thoroughly enjoyed that meal.
And I went for the pork, which came with some pork tenderloin that was very similar to last night's, as well as a little bit of pork cheek. Now, I've never eaten pork cheek before, and yeah, it was very tasty. My only criticism was the portion size was a little bit measly.
Well, you combated that portion size by ordering an extra dish tonight. Now, you can order more mains if you want to. It doesn't have to just be one each here in the main dining room. So you went for a spanakopita as well.
And wow, was it incredible. It came with a tomato-based sauce and it was huge. I was only expecting it to be small, but it really did impress me. Full of flavour. The pastry was beautiful, as was the spinach filling. Wow.
Then on to dessert. I went for the ginger cake. It came with a small amount of cream. I found it slightly dry and would have liked it with some ice cream or custard just to take away that dryness.
And I went for the pistachio souffle, and again it was baked to perfection. It came with a side of ice cream, and wow, I was really impressed with it, and I could have eaten many more of them.
Now, we do normally end our meal with some petit fours, but our waiter didn't offer them tonight, did he? Well, we didn't want to hang around too long waiting for the petit fours, and we didn't want any coffee tonight, so we decided to head across the ship to the chart room.
We did walk past the Queen's room, and it was decked out with black and white flags for the evening. There were people dancing. We did stay for a little while just watching everybody have so much fun, and wow, some of these people are incredibly talented dancers.
Yeah, they were doing the sequence dancing when we passed. I don't know how they remember all those dances. It's fantastic.
In the chart room, again, it was really busy, but we managed to get 2 seats at the bar, and we decided to order ourselves a couple of cocktails.
What is interesting at the moment, the ship is in special measures, so they aren't giving out the standard menus, but we were able to look at the menus on the myvoyage.cunard page on the internet.
Access to the myvoyage.cunard website/app is free to use. You do not need an internet package in order to access the information that's on there.
Hopefully when you are on board though, they will be giving out the full paper menus, because at the moment they're just giving out the general menus that are available in every bar, and there is no cocktail list on them.
So we had a different cocktail each.
I went for the cocktail Calm Seas, and it had a bit of ginger in, so ginger does seem to be a theme of my evening so far. And you went for
1,000 Journeys. It was a Prosecco and rum based drink, really tasty. You could definitely taste the rum in it. What was also great, because we were sat on the bar, we could watch them prepare these cocktails in real time, and wow, they are talented, because there were bottles being flung left, right. I don't think I could manage it.
Now we sat at the bar drinking our cocktails and having a chat with some of our fellow passengers, so hello to you if you are watching. And then we headed to the theatre at 9:30 for our box reservation.
We did bring our ticket with us as instructed, and when we got there, there was a bellboy waiting for us. We showed him our ticket and he escorted escorted us to a little VIP area on the top floor of the theatre.
Yes, we sat there and we were given little petit fours, so good job we missed the ones in the dining room because we had them in this little VIP area, as well as 2 Key Royales.
It was much busier than we thought it was going to be. There were lots of other people that had reserved a box as well, so we chatted to them and just really enjoyed the experience.
It wasn't long though before we were called once again by our bellboy and escorted down to our box. Now we had booked box number 1, which is the one closest to the stage, and we had a fantastic view.
You can choose any box that's available at the time of booking.
Waiting for us in the box was half bottle of champagne as well as some more little snacks.
The bellboy served us our champagne and we waited for the show to start. We did take the opportunity to get a couple of photos of us in our tuxedos because it was just a great experience.
Now the show tonight was absolutely fantastic and it certainly had us up dancing. Roy Hemmings was the performer who spent 10 years with the Drifters. He performed mainly 70s music and songs from the Drifters themselves.
I do love a little bit of Motown, and wow, Roy, as well as his backing singers, were incredible, and as Tom said, everybody by the end was up on their feet dancing, including us. It was a great evening's entertainment.
The time in the box absolutely flew by, but we did manage to eat all our little snacks, including those Cunard branded chocolates, and finish off our half bottle of champagne.
Those Cunard branded chocolates were fantastic. We paid around $66 for the box experience, which has been charged to our onboard account, and we think it was fantastic value for money and did make us feel really special on formal night. After the show, we made our way out of the theatre and we met up with a number of other passengers and we were chatting to them, and we decided to go for a drink. Now we made our way up to the Commodore Club. Unfortunately, there was nowhere to sit and there were people stood waiting for others to leave so they could grab their seats. We did ask the waiter if we could order a drink while waiting. However, he said in order to get a drink, you need to be sat down, which we didn't know.
The waiter did inform us that if we did order a drink, it would take around 30 minutes for our drink to arrive. So we decided to head into the yacht club. Once again, it was absolutely packed. A lot of passengers are having a great time on this cruise.
So we decided to make our way down to the Midship's Lounge. Now this venue is a little bit more subdued. There's not a lot of live music going on, but it's the perfect location if you just want to sit down and have a chat and a nice little gin-based cocktail.
It is also known as the Gin and Fizz Bar as well as the Midship Lounge, so of course we had to order ourselves a gin.
So we sat there for a good couple of hours actually, just chatting and having a drink, and before we knew it, it was 1 o'clock.
Time flew by, as it does when we're chatting and having fun. So thank you very much if you were sat with us having a chat, because we really enjoyed that.
So we said our goodbyes and we made our way back to the cabin. Tonight we did not order any room service. We were so tired. We decided to go straight to bed. But before we did put out our little breakfast room service order. Here on Cunard, you do get breakfast delivered to your room included in your cruise fare. So there's no additional charge.
So yeah, the order is outside of the cabin. We did it just in time before the 1 AM cut-off deadline, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
We have ordered it for 9:30, so fingers crossed it doesn't come any earlier than that.
So we shall see you tomorrow when we are docked in Amsterdam. Will our breakfast arrive on time? You'll have to tune in to find out.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support us in creating future content and receiving exclusive benefits, we're also available on Patreon and through YouTube channel memberships.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. We've got lots more content available on our YouTube channel, so press that subscribe button. If you're interested in receiving daily updates, we're available on most social media platforms. Just search for Tom and Dom Travel.